Yo! Yo! Dude, the fucking... I don't... Dude! The fucking... The screen got updated! And I'm still setting up my goddamn OBS, and I'm figuring shit out, but dude! The fucking game got updated. The screen got updated. I don't know if this is just to signify, like, what route we're on, or if this is just, like, the standard screen now. But, like, dude! This looks amazing! Fuck! I don't know why that happened, but I love it. I love it so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Deckerlink, the Trained Unprofessional, and welcome back to Repeat. We're here to finish out, or maybe not finish, but to continue on the updates for Sissel. Not a wink of sleep graced him tonight, not a single moment of rest. Anxiety clawed at his mind as Sissel buried his face deeper into his lumpy pillow. The morning sun eventually speared through his window. Sissel groaned and sat up in his bed. This is... Why are we... I guess we never did see Sissel's dorm room. This is just the same picture that John, Yuka, the main character, it's the same picture for that, so that was just confusing for a second. Today's the day, the culinary competition. Today is when Sissel can finally show the world he something of value to offer. Oh boy, oh boy. Sissel slapped his own face hard. The sting on his cheek hurt, but it kept his mind from pondering too much on the negatives. Come on, focus on that win! Keep your eyes on the prize! He hopped out of bed and caught a glimpse of himself in the mirror. Alright. The competition's gonna be filled with wealthy kids, all dressed to impress those snooty judges. And here he is, with nothing to wear but his usual ragged and torn tank top. Sissel sighed and slapped his face again. Come on, stay positive. You still got a good chance. He wasn't sure how much he believed his own words. Oh, poor boy. In fact, I had my first poor boy sandwich the other day. A little too much onions, but the garlic and the beef and the cheese and the... Oh my god, it was great. It took a while to drag himself out of bed. Sissel contemplated skipping breakfast altogether, but some food would probably help calm his nerves. There's that kitchen. He was surprised to find a very jittery John already pacing around the kitchen. Dude, since when did you start waking up early? You usually sleep till noon. My ears perked up at the sound of Sissel... Ah! This is the Animal Crossing song! I love this song! Oh, I love it. My ears perked up at the sound of Sissel's voice, and my face spread into a wide grin, so we're shifting perspectives again. I immediately ran up and pulled him into a crushing hug before dragging him to the kitchen table. Morning, my dude! I made breakfast. I'm no master chef like you, but the eggs and toast shouldn't be too bad. Gotta feed yourself so that you'll have some energy to crush at the competition today. Sissel seemed taken aback and stared at me blankly. You're very energetic today. You sure that nosebleed from yesterday didn't damage your brain? I kept grinning and put both hands on Sissel's shoulder. Just the one. Just both on one side. I'm feeling fan-fucking-tastic, sis. I'm just really excited to see you win the competition today. I know that you're going to do great. You're putting a lot of pressure on the dude, and what's fucking happening over there? You see this shit? You see him? He's freaking out over there by himself? I don't know what the hell. Sissel poked at his eggs doubtfully. I'm not sure. I stuck a handful of toast into his mouth. No doubts, no worries, no regrets, no fears, no anxieties. Just go forward on all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine. None of that is going to help you, so might as well throw it all out the window. Sissel stared at me silently as he slowly chewed through his toast. I leaned close to him and just smiled fondly. You're being really weird today. What are you staring at? There's something on my face. Nah, I just think you look great. When I look at you, I just think of all the times you worked your ass off to prepare for this day. Dude, this is the trouble with time travel, is that going back to before he fell for you, you don't know if you're going to change what actually makes him like you. And I just feel so damn proud. You're going to kick some serious ass at this competition, sis. Trust me. Sissel felt his heart skip a beat. That dumb, smiling face, it must be contagious. The weight on his chest suddenly felt tighter. It felt lighter. Yeah, I'll destroy him today. Just watch. I slapped him on the shoulder with a laugh. Hell yeah, that's the spirit. And if any saboteur tries to mess with your work, I brought a knife just for the occasion. Hey, maybe that's a little too energetic, and I called Owen, Philip, and Ginny to bodyguard your chocolate sculpture, too. No one's gonna lay a hand on it without our okay. I gave him a thumbs up. Leave it all to me. Hurry up and eat your breakfast. I'll go grab a few things, and then we can head to the cafe to grab your sculpture. Have you shown it to him yet? I guess so. Sissel laughed, a genuine, hearty laugh. Well, I guess I have nothing to worry about then. Okay. Soon, Sissel and I were getting ready to leave the cafe. As I ducked into my dorm room to grab my bag, I found Hallie waiting for me. She was rubbing her temple in her usual irritated manner. Here she is again. You mortals are so damn loud. How do you live like this? I rolled my eyes and walked past her briskly. It's called hanging out with friends. Maybe that's a foreign concept to you. Holly glanced up at me, confused. Oh, the chatter is fine. It's just all these damn thoughts ringing in your heads. How do you stand it? I paused and looked at her curiously. You can hear our thoughts. She shrugs. You mortals aren't exactly quiet. Especially that Baker kid you keep flirting with. I can hear his mind screeching from down the hall. Uh-oh. Ellie kept her ear under her hair and closed her eyes. The way his face lights up like the sun when he sees me. Joy fluttering in my stomach. I'm not worth this. Gut clenches, but I want to be. I stand up straighter. He makes me feel whole, wanted, someone worth being. God, how do I tell him? All right, it's enough. My face burned red as I chucked my pillow at Hallie. It soared right through her as she flipped me off. You know, you mortals never fail to confound me. If you all just say what you're thinking, your lives would be so much easier. I agree with that. I ignored her and stomped out the door. My chest fluttered as I tried to ignore the pink spreading across my face. Whose thoughts did she just read? Mine or Sissel's? The cafe was still dark as Sissel and I poked through the front doors. To our surprise, Herschel was already sitting at a table with papers scattered everywhere. He was mumbling to himself as he scribbled through another sheet. He grumbled in frustration and crumpled it up before tossing it into a growing pile. Boss, what are you doing up so early? What? Oh, no. Herschel nearly knocked the table over as he scrambled to gather up his papers. Poor fucker. Oh shit, it's morning already. There were heavy bags under his eyes as he scooped his papers away from prying eyes. I stayed up writing a speech. Yeah, I was preparing a speech and couldn't really think of a good way to say it. Herschel glanced my way and we made eye contact briefly. We both know what he was really writing. Herschel looked away guiltily and squinted out the window at the morning sun. He groaned and ran his hand across his face. I didn't realize so much time had passed. I was supposed to give you a surprise when you came to pick up your sculpture today. The confetti's all loaded up, too. Sissel's expression softened at the sight of Herschel's exhaustion. Boss, you're getting old. You should probably get some sleep and rest up a bit. Whatever dumb speech you've got there can probably wait. Herschel wobbled towards Sissel. Despite his fatigue, he ruffled Sissel's hair with a hearty laugh and gave him a thumbs up. No nap is worth missing your big day at the competition, sis. Hey, I'll have to come if you're so tired. Listen, sis, nothing's gonna stop me from seeing you kick everybody's ass. Arse! I worked too hard for this. I'm worried someone's gonna hear me doing this accent and decide what accent they think I'm trying to do and be like, that's not good. Well, yeah, it's because it's not supposed to be. It's an abomination of like 3 different accents thrown together. It's supposed to sound terrible. Come along now, let's go load up your chocolate sculpture in the cart. A small, grateful smile spread across Sissel's face as he followed Herschel into the kitchen. Thanks, boss. It means a lot. As the two of them walked towards the kitchen, Sissel glanced back at me. Oh, John! I'm gonna grab my sculpture real quick. Just wait here for a while, okay? I grinned and gave him a thumbs up. There it is. Shortly after Sissel and Herschel ducked into the kitchen, there was a sharp pop as an explosion of confetti rained down from the ceiling. The muffled yells from the two echoed throughout the cafe. Let out a fond sigh and plopped down at a nearby booth. Oh boy, this might take a while. A familiar, goddammit, cool chill suddenly shivered down my spine. Perked up, eyes wide. Echo, is that you? My heart slowly fell in disappointment as Bradley's voice manifested in my head. Apologies. I'm not your wish, I'm afraid. It's alright. Just got a little hopeful, that's all. Cleared my throat. Anyway, what do you need, Bradley? Just some preparations, in case things go south. In the kitchen, I need you to load up Sissel's cart with a few freeze spray cans. Freeze spray? It's a spray commonly used for culinary chocolate and sugar works. Instantly freezes surfaces to below 0 degrees. My intuition tells me it may be useful. I ducked into the kitchen and found several of these freeze spray cans near the freezer. Oh, if you say so. Couldn't hurt to bring these along. Another cold shiver curled down my spine. I glanced up to see Hallie appearing at the cafe doorway, looking fairly pissed. Hurry up and get out of the cafe. What? Do you have something against confetti? Who gives a damn about the confetti? I can smell the remnant approaching and I don't like it. Already? Right. I'll grab Sissel and Herschel real quick and we can go. Oh, hell. Oh, hell. Oh, hell! With a shaky yell and a few excuses, I quickly ushered a confused Sissel and Herschel out of the cafe and on our way to the culinary competition. Kept glancing behind me during our entire walk back to the school. Oh, here's that ballroom. Garania Academy was bustling with activity with Visitors' Day already underway. Parents and snooty rich students alike piled into this school's ballroom in preparation for the competition. Herschel was quickly ushered away to file some contest paperwork, which left just me and Sissel alone with the carriage. I glanced at Sissel worriedly. He was so nervous while he was here in the previous timeline. The sight of all the other contestants in their fancy clothes cheering parents and that were jeering at Sissel's ragged appearance, I hope it doesn't get to him. To my surprise, Sissel looks surprisingly calm. The furrow in his brow betrayed a little nervousness, but overall, he looked composed. He stole a glance towards me and caught me staring. Something wrong, John? Oh, nothing. I just thought you looked really cool-headed for how nervous you were this morning. Sissel's ears drooped slightly in embarrassment. Well, yeah, I'm still really nervous, but never mind. It's really mushy. Come on, dude, you can't just leave me hanging. He scratched his head, face slightly pink. It's just the way you looked this morning. I never seen you look so darn determined before. Like you're ready to fight the goddamn world for me. Can't help but be a little inspired by that, right? It's my turn to feel my face flushed pink. Was I really that boisterous this morning? Sissel hesitated for a moment before slowly reaching over and held my hand. I jumped a little in surprise, but allowed him to timidly hold me. He felt very warm. Remember, he was planning on asking us out if he won. You know, I don't know what I did to deserve all this confidence. Sure as hell don't feel like I deserve it. But I want to become someone that does deserve it, you know? He smiled shyly. So I decided. Who the fuck cares what all these snooty parents and contestants think? I'm here to kick ass whether they like me or not. I'll make you proud. My chest felt very warm as I let out a hearty laugh. That's the spirit! Wow, holding hands already? Here she comes. Oh, God. Everyone's here. Sissel and I scrambled apart to see Ginny, Philip, and Owen grinning at us like giddy parents. My hand still felt warm. Dude, I thought you were asking him out after you won first place. To teach! We're supposed to tell anyone. Hey, boy. Oh, okay. Owen sauntered up next to me with a curious smirk. I don't remember his voice at all. I remember always forgetting his voice and never being satisfied with it. So, did you two hit first base yet, or are you saving that for later? I don't fucking know his voice, man. Okay, whatever. I don't play baseball. You know what I mean. No idea. Congrats. You two were having a moment and y'all ruined it. Philip looked up from his phone nonchalantly and gave me a look. Anyway, weren't you supposed to tell us something? Oh, right. Sissel, I'm going to talk to these three real quick. Make sure you watch the cart really closely. Okay. Don't let it out of your sight. Keep your eyeballs glued to it. I'll be right back. All right. Why wouldn't y'all stay there and then have him go? I don't know. I dragged Ginny, Owen, and Philip just out of earshot, but kept Sissel's cart in sight. Good. With a sigh, I turned towards them. Guys, I've got an assignment for you. I've got some intel that says someone's going to try and sabotage Sissel's contest entry today. I need you all to bodyguard that shit. Bodyguard the shit out of that cart like your lives depend on it. Sabotage. That's a different sprite form. Owen scratched his head, but looked unsurprised. Well, I've heard some crazy backstabbing stories about these kind of competitions. No worries, we'll make sure no one even comes near the cart. Shouldn't be too hard. The contest starts in like 15 minutes anyway. You can count on us. Anyone who comes close to Sissel's cart is gonna get an ass-whooping. Owen and Ginny gave me a determined thumbs up and hurried over to Sissel and his cart. Philip tapped his chin thoughtfully before turning to me. So, what's up? I'm more of a man of action. Does your intel say who exactly the saboteur is? Oh shit. Philip's got this sly glint in his eye that makes me a little nervous. Well, I scanned through the crowd and pointed at a figure retreating towards the restroom. It was that rude contestant that Jenny socked in the face from the previous timeline. The guy there, I think. But what are you gonna do? Oh, shit! They gonna die. Before I could even finish, I saw Philip stalk stealthily towards him. As the two of them rounded the corner, I got a glimpse of Philip pulling something out of his backpack. Oh my god. Wait, is that a fucking taser? There was a bright flash and a dull slam of a stuffed locker closing. Oh, my dude, that's fucked. Philip returned, casually dusting himself off, and gave me a nonchalant thumbs up. Problem solved. Oh my god. Dude, that's not cool. But it's also really cool. I could only gape, flabbergasted, as Philip strolled back to Sissel as though nothing had happened. You should check the shit to make sure it's still fine. You don't know. Alright? You just don't. That boy has some great efficiency. I respect that. That is very illegal. Very, very illegal. Still, I guess this works. Maybe. We don't know. I hurried back to the cart after that really unnecessary transition to see a very annoyed Sissel. What did you tell them? These three have been practically hugging my cart like koalas. Jean poked her head from behind the cart and waved. Hey-o, Ghostbuster. We've made darn sure no one's been anywhere close to Sissel's cart. Yeah, and every time someone gets close, Ginny armed herself with the fire extinguisher and threatened to ice them. Even the judge. That's the wrong. That's the wrong. Bad. Oh no. Okay, the music stopped. I thought for a second maybe that was like a, oh no. Sissel just stared at the fizzling remains of the fire extinguisher goo on the floor and shook his head. What the hell did you tell them to do? It's a cautionary measure. You'll thank me later. I'm really worried. I'm really worried. I don't believe that this is going to go near what was intended or what would be good. Or the competition announcer suddenly shouts from the front of the ballroom. Judges will begin making rounds in 5 minutes. Everyone please ready your works. Anticipation and nervous excitement filled my chest as I glanced at Sissel. We exchanged reassuring nods. Everything's sailing smoothly so far. This is going to work out. It's gonna go badly. Something bad is happening. Maybe the fucking thing melted in the first place and we don't actually know what happened. Maybe it wasn't a saboteur at all. Maybe, I don't know. Oh, the freeze can spray shits are really going to be important. It has to. Does it? Does it? I don't think so. As we turned to help Sissel unload his cart, I felt a deathly chill run down my spine. You son of a bitch. The cold whipped through the room, prickling at my skin like 1,000 knives. Just as abruptly, the cold became a searing, unbearable heat. The air was thick with heat. Get the cans! I felt like breathing through a suffocating blanket. What? Who's causing this? I fucking bet I know. I turned towards Sissel's cart, slowly, fear grasping at my chest. Oh my god. That is fucking creepy. There in a mass of disembodied hands and face-splitting grin, and sitting on top of the cart was the remnant. Its eyes twisted and focused on me before cackling hysterically. Did you really think it would be this easy? The heat in the room was growing unbearable as the remnant grinned down at me. Events don't simply bend to your whims. Time always moves forward. Yo! That bitch got smacked the fuck up. Oh, it's hilarious. I love it. Oh my god. That's amazing. Oh my. A deafening shriek filled the air as Hallie tackled the remnant, grabbing it ruthlessly by the face. She turned back to glance at me for a split second. This better be worth it. Oh no, she's sacrificing herself, I swear to God. Second chances have a cost. Don't waste them. With that, she vaulted out the window with the remnant shrieking in her grip. Its dozens of spectral arms writhed in agony before being dragged outside, but the remnant and Hallie disappearing past the windowsill. Hallie and Remnant tumbled into the parking lot outside, wrestling viciously and clawing at each other's faces. Hallie hissed and tried to go. I don't know if that's how you spell gouge. At one of the Remnant's oversized eyes, only for it to laugh and duck gleefully. The two fought to untangle from the other's grip and leapt apart to distance themselves. Hallie panted heavily as she stumbled onto her feet to face the grotesque, grinning Wish. The remnant lurched upright like a disjointed mass of broken bones in a tight skin bag. It cackled, its many arms flailing behind him like deformed wings. Why are you helping John? You never stopped blathering about how much you hated him. Hallie's eyes narrowed as she crouched down, readying herself to strike. I just want this repeating nightmare to end. If that means I have to help that useless half-pint, then so be it. Remnant tilted his head at her disapprovingly. Stop this repeating nightmare. You're the one who's keeping this whole clockwork ticking. Its grin spread wider, exposing more of its excess teeth. Second chance, a fresh start. That's all a facade. You just want to prevent her death. Helping John and his friends is just a stepping stone to your goal. You feel nothing, like a machine. Hallie growls in irritation, her eyes turning scarlet. And what of it? I don't care if I happen to help or hurt a few stragglers along the way. I will save her, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to protect your own wisher. The remnant grin dipped into a frown as it shook its head in disappointment. All the time in the world, and you still learn nothing. For someone with such a compassionate goal, you are certainly lacking in compassion. Hallie snarled and lunged at the remnant, eyes red with rage. She dives in, dodging each of its monstrous arms, and barreled towards the remnant's head. It merely laughed and bent backwards, its spine twisting at an impossible angle. Hallie hissed as an arm suddenly grabbed her, pinning her arms to her side before hoisting her in the air. Oh God, no. Before massive hands grasped this. I'm sorry. With the fucking background, this looks kind of cheap. More massive hands grasped around her, slowly crushing her in their grip. She thrashed wildly, but couldn't budge an inch. Hallie screamed as she felt her bones groan against the remnant's crushing grip. Her vision grew hazy. Couldn't breathe. The remnant looked on gleefully as Hallie's thrashing slowed to a stop. It turned its head back towards the ballroom. Now, where was I before your rude interruption? Oh yes, the contest! There was a sudden flash of light. The air quivered as Hallie's figure burst into a massive ash cloud and out of the remnant's grip. The remnant's grin folded into a tired smile as he watched the ash reform into a towering figure. Oh, shit. The air... What the fuck? The air hummed with the cold, mechanical sound of ticking clockwork gears. Ash darkened the sky as Hallie's form slowly solidified from the swirling storm of dust. Slowly, the mechanical clockwork spread into wings that nearly touched the sky. She took a step forward, the ground rumbling in her wake. It's been a long while since I've seen your true form. All right, ugly beast, aren't you? Hallie attacked. Well, fuck me, okay? Jesus Christ. Meanwhile, in the ballroom, I was also dealing with my own beast of a situation. No one else seemed to be able to see Hallie tackle the remnant here mere minutes ago. I rushed forward to Sissel's side as he prized open his card, oblivious to the supernatural battle raging outside. The lid felt very warm to the touch. Get the spray can! It clattered to the ground to reveal Sissel's white chocolate sculpture. Or what was left of it. The top of the sculpture was bubbling with molten chocolate. Melted chunks of the sculpture dripped down and pooled at the base, like a used candle. The air was sickly sweet with a heavy smell of burnt chocolate. My throat felt dry. I turned towards Sissel, fear gripping my chest. He looked absolutely pale. Panic filled his eyes as he grasped the side of his cart, mouth agape. What? How did this? Several judges and contestants glanced over his shoulder and snickered at each other. You're planning on entering this mess into the competition? What a waste of time. I slammed my fist against the wall with a resounding thud. Again? I was supposed to change things this time around. I was supposed to support Sissel. My eyes squeezed shut and I hissed through my teeth. The devastated look on Sissel's face echoed in my mind and I let out a defeated growl. Suddenly a voice whispered inside my head. Do not give up just yet, friend. There is still hope. How? Transitions again. Sissel watched John groaning in frustration next to him. Despite the overwhelming fury and panic from mere moments again, Sissel felt his chest flutter with warmth. It was strangely heartening to see someone else so devoted to you. Sissel jumps when he suddenly sees a judge approach him. I'm not sure how this happened, but I'm afraid I can't let you enter this mess into the competition. But... You are hereby officially disqualified. Alrighty, hold it right there! Herschel pushed his way through the crowd with a cold scowl. With all due respect, sir, the contest hasn't even started yet. You can't honestly make a fair judgment right now. The judge almost laughed and gestured towards the pools of molten chocolate dripping down Sissel's sculpture. Can you honestly say this monstrosity stands any chance of winning? The contest starts in 8 minutes anyhow. My point still stands. You can't make an honest and fair judgment until the contest actually begins. I don't care what you think. You still have to follow the rules, you hear me? The judge and Herschel descend into a heated argument, neither side letting up. Sissel glanced between John and Herschel, his heart beating against his chest like a hammer. Why are you two still fighting for him? He doesn't deserve this. Sissel froze as he realized how large the crowd around his sculpture had grown. Hundreds of eyes across the ballroom were trained on him, judging. His ragged shirt felt itchy against his skin. They were all ready to write him off at a glance. And this mess of a sculpture proved them right. But Herschel and John were still trying so hard to help him. He's got to try something. Ignoring his pounding heart, Sissel stared quietly at his ruined sculpture. The top of it was mostly a molten mess, but the bottom parts were fairly intact. Scart still held his bag of sculpting tools, along with the dozen of freeze spray cans John insisted on taking for some reason. Sissel swallowed hard, his mind racing. Through all the anxiety and indignation, an idea slowly formed in his mind. It was insane. It would never work, but no more worries. No more doubts. Right? He grabbed his bag of sculpting supplies and turned towards the judge. Official judging and scoring starts in 8 minutes. He spoke firmly. Fucking idiot. It wasn't a question. The judge turned away from a furious Herschel and frowned. Well, it's 7 minutes now. That's more than enough. I'll have my sculpture ready by then. The judge raised an eyebrow at Sissel's mess of a melted sculpture. Surely you're joking. This is ridiculous. Someone suddenly walked up behind the judge and placed a hand on his shoulder. But Mrs. Corliss? Now, Judge, if Sissel wants to spend the last 7 minutes before the contest to prepare his project, where is the harm? As a representative of BriAnna Academy, I say we give him this fair chance. Yeah, even old lady speaking sense. Why are you being so difficult? The judge stuttered between a firm Mrs. Corliss, a furious Herschel, and a curious murmuring crowd. Well, I suppose there's no harm in giving him a chance. That was all the confirmation he needed. Sissel scarcely heard the judge before crouching over his chocolate sculpture, carefully diagnosing its current state. He dabbed at the melted parts with a finger and scowled. It was still viscous and sticky to the touch. John? I was by his side immediately. How can I help? That firm assurance of support, Sissel felt his heart flutter again. Focus, damn it. Grab that freeze spray. The sculpture is way too liquidy and soft right now. I'm gonna need you to continuously spray over the sculpture as I carve away at it. Oh, that might fuck up his hands. I nodded and grabbed a can of freeze spray, and Sissel positioned his sculpting tools. Sissel gave me one last determined grin. We're gonna make this work. Just watch me. Ah, that's lovely. Look. Hey! He has his tail. Everyone fucking doubted it. He has his tail. Also, crowd of remnants behind them. That's creepy as shit. The spray cans hissed loudly as a fine mist of white hit the sculpture, hardening it instantly. With that, Sissel got to work. His hands worked with practiced precision as he carved away large chunks of melted chocolate. A steady waterfall of crumbled white debris was dusted onto the ballroom floor while he chiseled away at his sculpture. Sissel was in a trance. Brows furrowed and eyes focused, the entire world ceased as he etched and sculpted. I couldn't help but watch in awe at Sissel's handiwork. It was like seeing someone breathing life into stone. The previously jeering and snooty crowd fell silent, suddenly entranced by the sight of Sissel at work. My can of free space suddenly pittered into an empty splutter. I tossed it aside and grabbed another can, but something caught my eye. My breath caught in my throat. Sissel's fingers were frosted over in white. They were trembling and moving rigidly, almost painfully so. What are you doing? Keep spraying! But your hands... We've got 5 minutes left. We have to make every second count. Don't worry about me. It's just a little frost. I wanted to argue, but the ticking clock and sheer pressure of the situation weighed over my head. With a reluctant nod, I continued spraying. Sissel felt a flush of relief. In truth, his fingers were already numb, but he kept carving and chipping away at his sculpture. No worries, no doubts. He'll see this through in the end. The room was transfixed as a chunk after chunk of white chocolate crumbled under the ballroom carpet. What was he trying to do? There was no way he could actually repair the whole thing in only 7 minutes. Herschel watched from the crowd, his hands clenched into anxious fists. Ginny was gnawing nervously at her gloved fingers, while Philip and Owen stared intently. Sissel noticed none of them, and kept his eyes trained on his work, save for a few occasional glances at the clock. As the minutes ticked by, the crowd murmured to themselves fervently. Anxious excitement fluttered through everyone as time slowly ran out. Even the judge seemed reluctant to speak up as the last few seconds ran dry. All right, kid. Your 7 minutes are up. What have you got for us? Sissel finally put down his carving tools with a sharp clank, his fingers trembling violently. The air was thick with clouds of residual freeze spray. The crowd leaned forward as the air cleared, eager to see his creation. Oh, that's brilliant! That's brilliant! The white chocolate simmered in the light as Sissel revealed his replica of the ancient Greek Parthenon. Excited and impressed murmurs spread across the crowd as they gathered around. Even with the rough finish to the sculpture, the uneven carvings give it a natural, aged and withered appearance. He hollowed out a sculpture of the Capitol building and turned it into the ruins of the Greek Parthenon. The architecture is certainly similar, and the fact that he used its rough appearance from his rushed work to fit into the Parthenon's aged aesthetic. Clever! Clever indeed! Sissel could scarcely believe his ears. He stumbled backwards in exhaustion right into John's waiting arm. You did it, Sissel. Sissel let out something between a laugh and a sigh. Yeah. Thanks for sticking with me. Of course. I'll always be here to help you, man. Sissel felt his face heat up and he looked away bashfully. Let's just hope the actual judging and scoring goes well. As it turned out, the actual judging and scoring did not go as well as they had hoped. The competition continued as expected, with the judges examining every entry carefully. While Sissel scored very high, the main judge awkwardly announced that points were taken off due to the rushed nature of his project. The crowd booed loudly. Honestly, all the other entries paled in comparison to Sissel's performance. To add insult to injury, the highest scoring project looked like a cheap gingerbread house. And so, I'm happy to announce that the second place prize goes to Sissel. Sissel stumbled towards the judge's table blankly, still mildly in shock. He accepted his number 2 ribbon with a small, grateful smile. Oh, thank you. I'm proud of you, Sissel. Oh, he's so happy and loud that I can't be loud right now. Or louder than I already am being. Herschel shouted wildly from the back of the room. What I gotta fucking say, getting second place is bullshit. He deserves better. Calm yourself, sir. Can security please escort this gentleman outside, please? The crowd booed and yelled so aggressively that the judges all stumbled backwards. Anyway, finally, I'm proud to announce the winner of the regional culinary competition, and the contestant who will move on to the nationals is Phileas Caldwell. Let me guess, it's the fucker in the locker. What the fucking gingerbread house won? Oh my god! At this point, Ginny chucked a fire extinguisher to the judge's table and knocked it over. The crowd cheered. No, I must ask everyone to remain civil. Your horrible judges, is this rigged? Mrs. Willis, please, you are a teacher. I am pissed is what I am. How can this possibly be fair? Everyone in the ballroom who was not a judge murmured in agreement. The judges sweated nervously. Uh-oh. We assure you that Phileas's entry is indeed a work of great skill and craft. Frankly, his entry looked like a store-bought gingerbread house. You can't honestly say the judges aren't unbiased somehow. Something shifty is going on. Now, Philip, you can't say that. The judges must have picked old Phileas's entry because of his awesome skill and not because his daddy donated $100,000 to the culinary institution last week. Right. Completely fair and unbiased. Did you two dig up dirt on the judges during the contest? Hey, we had to do something productive. The crowd grew even more unruly and closed in onto the judges' table. Jenny pelts one of the judges with an egg. The crowd grows wild, eager to join in. Soon, the ballroom was filled with floating food items and the screams of frightened judges. Yeah, fuck those people. Through all this commotion, Sissel stood awkwardly to the side while holding his number 2 ribbon, just like... Honestly, I didn't even think I'd make it this far. I placed a hand on his shoulder and scowled. Come on, man. Don't sell yourself short. You worked so damn hard on this. You better make sure the results are worth your time. Sissel sighed with a fond smile. Thanks. Seriously. Thank you so much for supporting me through all this. Of course. But even more seriously, I'm afraid Ginny's gonna murder one of the judges at this point. Across the room, Ginny was halfway through swinging a chair down upon one of the judges when Philip suddenly spoke up. You know what? Owen is right. Fair is fair, after all. Where is this Phileas? He should be here to receive his reward. The crowd falls silent. No Phileas answers. The judges were sweating bullets as they scanned the crowd frantically. Yep, it was the locker dude. Oh, whatever could have happened to him? To not even show up to his own victory. How unprofessional. Philip's sarcasm was thick enough to cut with a knife. Everyone in the ballroom whispered to each other curiously. Where was he? Phileas, it turns out, was still unconscious from being tased by Philip and stuffed into the locker right outside the ballroom. Hell yeah. But the judges didn't need to know that. Well, I guess if he's not here to even participate in his own contest, then one spot should naturally go to Sissel, right? The crowd cheered loudly in agreement, forcing even more nervousness onto the judges. Well, I'm not sure that if it's... Jenny raised her chair into striking position again. All right. We hereby congratulate Sissel on winning the first place prize in the regional culinary competition. Sissel gaped, utterly dumbfounded as Jenny eagerly shoved him up the judge's table. He stared at the small golden trophy cup for a solid minute before gently grasping it in his hands. I won? Oh yes, you won the regionals. You are now welcome to attend the national national championship in the coming weeks. Spoofy, get out from under the table, I swear to God. The judge scrunched his nose at Sissel's ragged attire and sneered. But transportation and lodging at the event will be your own responsibility, by the way. Ginny's chair rose straight back into striking position, and you're pissing me off, man. You're pissing me off. Get out of there. This is also Animal Crossing music. Why with the Animal Crossing music? Ginny's chair rose straight back into striking position before Owen stepped in. He hung an arm protectively around Sissel's shoulder and stared at the judge coolly. We'll make sure my buddy is well accommodated for his journey to the championship, don't you worry. And who might you be? Owen bowed with a petty smile. Owen Loyle, at your service. Loyle! The entire group of judges suddenly grew flustered and pale. Forgive my rudeness, Mr. Lorley. With your support, I'm sure your friend has nothing to worry about. And if you have a moment to spare, perhaps you could consider donating to our Ginny. Finally dropped the chair and landed it on the judge's toe with a solid thump. As he wheezed, Ginny beckoned Sissel and Owen to the door with a polite smile. Sissel wasn't paying any attention to the squabbling around him. His eyes were almost glazed over in a trance while staring at the small golden trophy in his hands. He won. He finally won! I watched Sissel's face with concern. The five of us left the ballroom with the high of victory in our hearts, but Sissel, that fixation on that golden cup, is painfully familiar. Can you believe it? I actually managed to win the regionals! He held the gold trophy up to the light with a wide grin. All my life I thought I wouldn't get anywhere. I finally managed to achieve something. I swallowed my nervousness rising in my throat. The feeling of victory is still fresh. It'd be rude to act like a pessimistic downer. I'll talk to him about this later. I was pulled out of my thoughts when Herschel barreled out of the crowd looking frazzled. Oh, thank fuck, I finally found y'all. Boss, where have you been? The nurse's office. Had to grab a first aid kit. Herschel pulled out a bewildered Sissel aside and sat him down on a nearby bench. He wrenched the golden trophy from Sissel's grip and examined his hands with concern. What were you thinking, sticking your hands in a freeze spray for so long? Are you trying to give yourself frostbite? I glanced at Sissel's hand and felt a sinking feeling in my stomach. All his fingers looked painfully red and stiff. Sissel yelped in discomfort as Herschel gently pried open his hand to apply cream from his first aid kit. I was just doing what I needed to do to win. Oh, I feel this being heavy moments. Herschel glanced at the small golden trophy lying next to Sissel inside. Yeah, I know. Honestly, you did an amazing job. But I was reckless. I'm real proud of you, Sissy, but that ain't stopping me from worrying. He closed up his first aid kit and stared at Sissel intently. You're always going to be a winner in my book. And this here, it's just an empty cup. Ain't nothing worth breaking yourself over, right? Sissel stared down at his bandaged hands with little guilt. Hey, little guilt. Yeah, I'll be more careful next time. Herschel laughed and tousled Sissel's hair playfully. I'll hold you to that. Anyway, wasn't there something you were supposed to do after you won? Huh? What do you mean? You were supposed to... You know? Herschel about Sissel and cocked his eyebrow in my direction. Ask someone something? Sissel glanced over at me blankly. Huh? Oh, Lord. Oh, come on, Sissel, you've been talking about this all week. Ask him the thing! Philip just shrugged and gave Sissel 2 big thumbs up. Oh! Sissel's ears stood straight up as realization dawned on him. He quickly stood up and faced me. His face was glowing red as an overcooked lobster. Sir John. Yes? He said yes! Oh, spoof, you're trying to get on camera? You gotta come over this way a little bit more. You spoof. You spoof. Okay, fine. Fuck off then. Man, I didn't even want to play with you. That's fine. Sis, you didn't even ask him the thing yet. Oh, right. Sissel cleared his throat loudly. His rabbit ears flicked with nervous energy while he fidgeted for a minute. He was having a lot of trouble looking me in the eye. It was an adorable sight. Well, you... I wanted to ask was, do you want to go... Go where? Sissel spluttered, ears drooping as he frantically tried to find his words. You know, go out with... Oh, God, he was starting to hyperventilate. It was like watching a red balloon getting overinflated with anxiety. Are you okay? What will you go out with? I can't fucking do it! Sissel yells into the air like a pterodactyl, face beet red as he shoves past me. Wait, what? I'll ask you tomorrow, see you later. And with that, he disappeared out the door. Sissel.exe has stopped working. Where do you think you're going? School wasn't even over yet. Repeat. Oh wow, there's still more? Day 11. Not your typical date. Okay. Well, this ain't happening in this episode. I was thinking there was just going to be only one more, but I guess not. I guess there's going to be another one after this. We don't know the outcome of the fight between Hallie and the Remnant, though. We don't even know if Hallie is still Hallie. We don't know what's going on, really. So I guess we'll find out maybe in the next one. Well, we'll find out something in the next one, if only what is going to happen in the next episode. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching. Now let's do the end slate. Gotta wait until it gets to 10. Okay, here we go. We got, on the left, we got patrons. Thank you to them. On the right, recommended video from YouTube as well as the most recent upload. In the middle, you got a link to subscribe and to check out the Patreon for yourself. And you got social media stuff underneath that. Links in the description. Thank you all for watching, and bye.